His spirit was free, a true rolling stone. He came to the valley and stopped for the day. A few hours of work and then back on his way. A man who owes nothing, his soul is his own. He can come and can go like a tumbleweed blown. And the troubles of strangers are not his to know. But the mind can be caught when the heart says to go. Sing to-rally, 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 yay. Singing to-rally, 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 yay.
Good evening. I am Father Gomez. My church is in Piedras, a very small place to be sure, but nearest to where Mother Maria Marta and the nuns of her order live and work, and where began the legend which has brought such attention, even fame, to our valley and the simple lives we live here. As all legends go, it is part fact, part falsehood, but perhaps the truth, which is its core, is more compelling than the trappings of imagination with which it has been invested. But I will let you judge this for yourselves. The man of whom the legend has grown was named Homer Smith. He came upon our valley quite by chance, really, after deciding to roam the west after receiving his discharge from the army. He bought a second-hand station wagon, put his bedroll in the back, and set out on his odyssey, stopping for a day's work here or there as the spirit moved him. One May morning he came upon Mother Maria Marta and the nuns working in the field. He noticed that there were no men with them, and the farm itself was run down and much in need of repair. So he decided to stop and offer his services. He was young, strong, and a man of many skills.
Morning. Could I have a word with you? In there? Okay. How do you do? My name's Homer Smith. I was just passing by and saw you ladies working out there. I thought maybe you could use some help. If you need a good day's work done, I'm for hire. Listen, if you're all set, just say so. It ain't like I need to work or nothing. I just stopped because I felt like working a bit.
Yeah, God is good. He sent to me a big, strong man.
Well, I don't know about all that. Nobody said nothing to me about sending me someplace. I was just passing by.
Yeah, you did not pass.
Well, that's true. But like I said, I just stopped because I felt like it, and nothing more to it than that.
You are called Smith?
No, Smith. Homer Smith.
Schmidt. Oh, yeah, Schmidt.
Well, not exactly, but that's close enough, I guess. The place sure needs a lot of work. I can see that from the road.
We do a lot of work, but the landing is hard. There is much to do.
Well, take that fence, for example. I could fix that fence better than those girls you got. It takes muscle to get those posts in solid.
Why, not the fence. The fence is fine. It is the roof, Schmidt. That we cannot fix.
Uh-huh. Oh, I noticed that too. Of course, that's a real job. The kind you need tools for. I need a good ladder and the right kind of nails and shingles. You know what I mean? Nails, shingles?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, well then, you got yourself the deal if you want it. I'll fix it up real good. Of course, I'll expect a fair pay. It ain't like I need it or nothing. But it's a matter of principle. I work for hire.
Yeah, Schmidt. But first, it's time for lunch. We eat and then we work.
Well, that's fine.
Our food is very plain. We do not throw enough yet, but we share what we have with you.
Look, I didn't come by looking for a meal. I've got grub in the car. What I was talking about was work. You know, hiring out.
Yeah, Schmidt. After lunch, you fix the roof. Now the others come in to eat. You will meet them. This is Sister Elizabeth and Sister Gertrude, Sister Agnes, Sister Albertine, Sister Catherine, and Sister Rose. And I am Mutter Maria Martha.
I'm real happy to meet all of you. I'm Homer Smith.
Homer. Homer Schmidt. Oh, yeah, Schmidt. You sit there, Schmidt.
Look, ladies, this is all mighty nice of you, but
Gott ist groß, Gott ist gut, und wir haben vielen Dank für das Essen. Amen. Amen.
But come, Schmidt. There is much to do before the day is over. You see, God has answered our prayers. He has sent to us a big, strong man to help us in our work.
oh, well now,
First, he will fix our roof, so we will be warm and dry in the rain. Then, we shall see. Yeah, we shall see.
boy, that sun is hot. A roof ain't no place to be with the sun burning down like that. I just can't imagine what those girls would have done if I hadn't come along. I just can't see 'em climbing round on the roof, pounding down shingles. I especially can't see old Mother up there. Well, of course, she wouldn't actually climbed up there. Oh, she would have just stayed on the ground and told the others what to do. Top sergeants is top sergeants. You can spot 'em a mile off in the army or out.
Schmidt!
Over here.
Ah, there you are, Schmidt. The roof. It is fixed, yeah?
Just about. I just came down to get me some more nails. Of course, it won't be like it should with the kind of shingles I gotta work with. But it'll keep the rain out. I should be able to finish it up this afternoon.
Good. When the others are finished their work, we put up a cot for you in the tool room. It is not much, but we will make it comfortable for you.
Now hold on a minute. I didn't exactly figure on staying. I hired on for the day, remember?
Yeah, Schmidt, but there is too much to do.
Oh, well, now, any fool can see that. But like I said, I don't need to work. I'm not sure, but what fixing that roof of yours was enough of that sort of thing for me for a while. Anyways, I don't need all the extra work.
We have very little, Schmidt, but what we do have, we share with you. You will not go hungry.
Nobody said nothing about going hungry, or having no place to sleep neither. If I do stay, I got me a bedroll in the car.
The car? Nein, Schmidt, you cannot stay up all night and work all day. We give you cot.
Listen, in the car, I got me a bedroll, see? All soft and fluffy like a feather bed. There ain't no cot made in the world that's as comfortable as that. Look, I know you ladies just trying to be nice, but but I'm doing just fine on my own.
Ja, Schmidt.
Look, I can see the place ain't yielding much, and I don't begrudge helping you out if I can. Maybe I won't even take any pay for fixing that roof of yours. But what you gotta understand is that when I come and when I go is up to me. I've had plenty of people telling me what to do all my life. Oh, when I was in the army, I just kept saving and planning and thinking that when I got out, I'd get me a car and just roll. Well, at least until my money ran out. But it hasn't yet, and it won't for some time if I keep stopping for a day's work now and then. Well, see, what I'm talking about is that I'm a free man. It's the best thing I have, and all I need to keep things the way they are is these two hands. I just don't want anybody thinking they got a rope on me.
Das ist gut, Schmidt. For this we too come to America. It is important that every man should be free in his own way. Now I must go to help the others. You have enough shingles? Good. For supper I ring a bell.
If she don't beat all, it's a wonder she don't have this place blooming like the Garden of Eden.
Now? Yeah. We are German. Me too from Hungary. We learn their English.
Bitte senden der valet open mein Zimmer. Please send the valet up to my room.
Please send the valet up to my room.
Ich habe etwas waschen lassen. I have something to be washed.
I have something to be washed.
Nicht starken de hemden klagen. Do not starch the collars of the shirts.
Do not starch the collars of the shirt.
Hier ist mein Waschenliste. Here is my laundry list.
Here is my laundry list.
4 hemden. 4 shirts.
4 shirts.
5 Paar Socken. 5 pairs of socks.
5 pairs of socks.
Eine Bluse. 1 Blouse.
1 blouse.
Schweigeranzug geschlafen. 2 pajamas.
2 pajamas. Oh, wait! Schmidt, he speaks their English. Ja, Schmidt, you can tell what is the right word. What is called this?
A phonograph?
Phonograph. Yeah, a phonograph. And this?
Table.
A table. We sit at the table.
Or a candle. And what holds it, it's called a candlestick.
Oh, yeah. Candle in the candlestick. Yeah.
Oh, well, you call that a door.
Door.
And that's a window.
Window. Window.
That is a chair. We sit in a chair.
Chair, yeah.
That's the Bible. The Holy Bible.
Oh, yeah. It's the same in German. Yeah, Bible. And this?
Shoe. Left shoe, right shoe.
Shoe. Shoe. These are words we know. It is good to hear them, but we do not learn this way. Schmidt, you teach us new words, the way people talk to each other here in America. I'll show you. Now, what is called this?
Well, you call that shaking hands. You do it when you say hello to each other. Like if you meet her, you shake hands and say, how do you do?
How do you do?
Good. Now, you say the same thing right back. One.
How do you do?
That's just fine. And it sure makes more sense than 4 shirts, 5 pair of socks. Oh, that'll get you your laundry.
Good, Schmidt. Now you teach us new words to use each day.
All right. Well, let's take what you say first thing in the morning. When you get up, you want to say good morning to each other.
Good morning.
Good. Now, supposing on a morning like this, supposing it's a fine sunny day outside, so you want to say, beautiful day, isn't it?
Beautiful day, isn't it?
Now, on a beautiful day such as this, let's suppose you're real hungry, so you ask each other, what are we having for breakfast? I have a feeling that around here it ain't gonna be much. But supposing you're real hungry and you like it anyways, you say, well, that sure was a delicious breakfast.
That sure was a delicious breakfast.
Say, you girls are just fine. I'll have you talking like natives in no time. Of course, not everybody speaks English the way they do back where I come from in South Carolina. And if you learn it from me, you're sure enough going to end up sounding like a bunch of crackers. And it can make you welcome every place.
Schmidt, what is called this? Autobus? No. Automobile? No.
Well, you call that a station wagon. Say, you draw real good. That looks just like that old buggy of mine.
Wait. This station on top is wagon. How is automobile?
Well, it's that, you see, it's that, well, that's the kind of car you use to go to the station. Like if somebody's been in the city shopping or if you have to pick something up. Well, supposing you're living out in the country, see, and you don't want to use the sedan to drive all the way to the railroad station. Well, some people call them beach wagons. That make any more sense to you? No, huh? Well, suppose I put it this way.
And so Homer, who had fully intended to be on his way again the evening of that first day, spent the night. He wasn't quite sure himself just why he chose to stay, as he instinctively reacted against the stern authority of which Mother Maria Marta held over her order, and he also felt that in some subtle way the limits of his own freedoms were being circumscribed. It was puzzling. He said he stayed because he chose to, and yet, was this really so? But there was joy in the work they did, and he felt a rapport with these religious folk, as he so called them, even though they were of a different faith and of a different language. But the feeling of hard-won independence too easily compromised rankled, and while the others were up and about with the dawn, Homer slept till he felt like waking. At least, that was his firm intention. As it was, there was Mother Maria Marta to contend with. She would not tolerate a lazy loafer, and he was soon roused from the comfort of his bedroll and sent to the disgrace of a sinfully late breakfast.
Yeah, I know. The chickens have been up for hours. But I ain't no chicken, and you might as well get that straight.
Here we all do our fair share, and we use the daylight your good Lord has given us. When it is dark, sleep. When it is light, work.
Look, I ain't no nun, and I ain't no hired hand neither. I sleep when I want to sleep, and if I don't want to work, I don't work.
First, you eat, and then work. Geh, mach schnell!
Old mother sure sets a poor table. How can she afford all that lumber piled up outside? No money's a child. That woman has a mean streak in her. I don't know why you girls put up with it. I mean, people got to eat. People got to sleep. People got to have a little joy in living. She don't go for that. All this milk all the time and no coffee. No milk of human kindness neither. That woman just hasn't got it.
Speak slowly, please. I do not understand.
Look, I know it ain't your fault. Matter of fact, I suppose I owe you an apology for showing up late for breakfast and causing more work for y'all. It's just old mother that sets me off. I mean, people's got some rights, haven't they? And you can't be expected to do a good day's work unless you sleep good and eat enough. All right? I'll tell you what. You wait right here. I'll be right back. I got some soup in the car. Emergency rations.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope old mother tries to stop me. Just let her ask me what I'm up to. Soup, 4 cans of it.
Yeah, Tonka.
Old mother will like this soup. Save a little wear and tear on account of that cow and those chickens of yours.
They're good.
Well, these are peaches from down south like me. You ever had peaches before? Well, you'll like it, I guarantee it.
You are finished.
Almost. Don't take long to eat that little dab.
Good. I have something of importance to discuss with you.
Oh?
Yeah. Schmidt. What is next? We build a chapel. Out where the old farmhouse burned down. The foundation, it is still solid. We build on top.
Who built it?
We do. Here, I show you. Now, here is what it is to look like. Sister Albertine has drawn this.
Oh, if you think I'm building that, you're out of your mind. I'm one man. I ain't no contract with the crew. Besides, I don't need all that extra work. No.
We are women, we build it.
All right. You build it.
Yeah, we will. Our own chapel we shall have. I saw you bringing the cans of food. We thank you. If you will be staying on until lunch, we will share them with you.
I ain't asking you to share anything. I'd like to help you girls out. I really would. But what you're asking, it's no one-man job.
Yeah, we do.
All all right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll clean out that old foundation for you. Well, that ain't woman's work. But that's it. That's the most I can do.
Yeah, I show you grab your tools. You come now?
Yeah, I come now. You have any idea what old mother's got on her mind? The farmer used to live on this old rundown place. His house burned down. Nothing left but the chimney. A good solid stone foundation, but it's full of charred ashes and timbers and soot. Ever try cleaning that out with just a crowbar and a bucket? Well, don't. Of course, a bulldozer turn it up real fast. But bulldozers cost money, so that's out right away. Oh, speaking of which, there ain't much being said about what's coming to me. I ain't running no charity. I gotta admit, I like these girls, and there's work here that's too much for women. But what I can't seem to get across to them is that there ain't nobody got a rope on Homer Smith. Well, one thing's for certain. I work when I want, and I quit when I don't. And old mother better know it.
When we first come here, there was nothing. Only a few old broken buildings and hard, barren ground. But we fix up a place to live in. We put up fences, we plant crops and learn to feed ourselves. Others say that we cannot do it, that we will not stay. But we do. And with God's help, we will do more. He has sent to us a big, strong man. And now we build a chapel. That is first. It is not easy, but it too shall be done. Then there is faith. All things are possible.
I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. Well, just because you want to do something, it don't mean you can. Especially when you end up expecting strangers to break their backs for you. Not to mention there's never a word of gratitude round here, no sir. Uh-huh. Old mother's gonna feed the slaves. More of that milk and eggs, and that chewy black bread like you never seen anywhere else. All gross and toasted. Well, I'll clean out that old foundation for 'em, 'cause I said I would. Another day or so ought to finish that off. But after that, I'm out of here. Gonna get my pay and leave. And old mother had better get straight on that right fast.
Tonight, there will no English lesson be. Tomorrow, we will go to Mass. It is a long day to Piedras. We must start very early.
I want to talk to you. I've been doing work for you, good work. I want pay for what I do. Now don't try to sit there and tell me you don't understand what I'm saying. I know you speak English good enough for that. Well, fine then. I'll let someone else do my talking for me. Now, let's see. What in the Lord's name is this written in? It's like nothing I ever saw before. Wait right here. I'll be right back. There. Look that up. Luke chapter 10, verse 7. Now, I'm not sure what it says there in your book, but here in mine it's mighty clear. And in the same house remain, eating and drinking, and such things as they give, for the laborer is worthy of his hire. Now, that's not exactly what I was trying to say, but I think you get my message. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 14. All right. I'll listen to what you have to say. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. No, I am a poor man. I have to work for wages. Now, I don't mind helping out a bit now and then, but there has got to be a stop somewhere. Matthew chapter 6, verse 28 and 29. What now? And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these.
Schmidt, tomorrow Sunday is the Mass in Piedras. It's 9:00.
I don't go to Mass.
We do.
Well, how'd you get there before I came along?
We walk.
Now, hold on a minute. Piedras is a couple miles off. It ain't fair to ask those girls to walk all that way, especially after the way you work them so hard. And on short rations, too. I mean it ain't fair. All right. Guess I could drive you in. But that don't mean I'm going to the Mass. No, sir, not by a long shot.
Danke schön, Schmidt. Good night.
Now that old lady, she is real tricky. It ain't like she came right out and asked me to drive them all into Piedras. No, sir. Well, she just put something up to you, so you've got no choice except to see it her way. Real tricky. But that wild notion of hers about building a chapel, well, she's going to have to be a lot more than tricky to pull that off. What she's going to need there is a miracle, a real, genuine miracle. and I ain't taking no bets on how far she gets with that.
When the spirit is strong, there's no hope that's too high. A dream can take wing like a bird in the sky. In the vision that guides you can seize others too. But you have to lose sight of what only one man can do. You hope and you plan and you work all the day. You pay little heed to what doubters may say. But to count on a stranger can surely be wrong when he wants to stay free to keep rolling along. Singing to-rally, 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 eh. Singing to-rally, to-rally, to-rally.
Morning. You up for business?
See,
Good. What I want is a real man-sized breakfast. I'm talking ham and eggs with lots of ham. And pancakes too if you get them ready in a hurry. And coffee. I want lots of coffee. Now start with it. Can you do it?
See, I can do it. I tell the cook. Give me a minute only. Okay, senor. The eggs, they're cooking. It will be a minute only.
Oh, real coffee. It has been a long time. Keep it coming till I tell you to stop.
See, it's best coffee in Piedras. You bring those nuns to Mass?
Oh, that's right. They're in there right now.
You are the man who does the work for them.
Well, they do a lot of work for themselves.
See, this I know. They cannot make a living in this country. It's not possible.
Oh?
They are Germans. They speak the good Spanish, but nobody listens. There's no reason for it. See, I know all about them. They're from the wrong Germany. The one that is communist was a great embarrassment to their order. Your breakfast, it is ready. I get it. See, there was so much politics about it too, but that is all very hard to understand. It is church politics and politics of Europe, and who can understand politics even when it's not his own country? The nuns could not stay in Germany under order on this land. It came to them in the wheel of Ghost Ritter. Did you know Ghost Ritter, senor?
Nope, never heard of him before.
Everybody in this place knew him. Todo el mundo. He was a hard, mean man. He worked his family night and day to make money for him. His son and his son's wife burned to death in the farmhouse because he was too mean to electricity. So even the poor people in this country had it. It was a kerosene lamp that caused it. After that, Ghost did not live long either. He left his land to this order of nuns because his sister in Germany belonged to it. You wish more eggs, senor?
No eggs, thanks. But I could do with more of that ham.
See, I guess.
Oh, I didn't realize how hungry I was. I'd like some more coffee, too.
A goose later, he made the good money growing the potato. But these nuns came and they had nothing. They knew nothing except to teach. There was no school, and they did not know the English. How could they teach? They sold some land to buy tools and furniture in lumber. For what purpose? What could they do? It is very sad. The mass is finished. You wish more?
No thanks, that fixed me up just fine. Say, we figure out what's the damage?
It will be $1.50 altogether, senor. For the extra coffee, we do not charge.
Fair enough.
Gracias, senor.
Say, how about getting me about 6 or 7 more slices of that ham?
See, I get it. Here you are, senor. It will be 50 cents.
Thanks, amigo. Thanks for telling me about those nuns. Oh, well, I'd better be getting along. Adios.
Adios, senor. They have nothing, the nuns, and the work is very hard. Why should a man stay? It is a great folly.
After the Mass, Homer came to see our church. It is a simple church made of adobe bricks dried in the sun, with more adobe to smooth the outside and benches of rough wood. Here the people are very poor. When I told Homer that Mother Maria Marta said that he would build her a chapel, he seemed, how shall I say, embarrassed to tell me that this was only an idea in her head, that no one man could do such a thing. And yet, the way that he studies our church, it is not the way of a man who knows a task is impossible. Ah, Senor Smith, you have seen what you wanted?
Thank you, Father Gomez, I did. I'm glad I saw your church.
It's a poor church, but God comes down to it. Mother Maria Martha said that she needed someone and she prayed for someone, and that you came. What do you think of that?
I think she figures she owns me. She thinks the Lord above sent me to her as a present because she did all that praying.
No, not that. I am certain not that. But she had a need and she trusted in prayer. It is not a fault in her if she believes that God sent you.
He didn't send a hard-shell Baptist to a Catholic nun. He didn't do nothing like that.
That would be odd, wouldn't it?
I don't see much sense in what she's doing.
She does what she must at the present. These nuns have to live. She wants a place here ultimately for poor boys from the city, Spanish-speaking boys who get into trouble. Nobody is interested in them. They could work and learn and be happier here in the country than in the city. No one will believe that until she proves it. She knows what she must do and she is strong of will.
Oh, yes, I know that. She is a strong-minded woman. Oh, but God didn't give me to her, and she don't own me. She better get straight on that real fast.
Of course, it is as you say.
Well, I'd better be getting along, Father Gomez. The others will be waiting. I picked up a few pieces of your good local ham. Thought the girls might like it. Well, adios, Father Gomez.
Adios, Senor Smith. Please, come again.
I have worked for a lot of people, and I've done a lot of different things, but nobody ever asked me to build a chapel before. Nobody ever said, here's the ground, and here I want a chapel, and it's your job to build it, just like that. Of course, I can't deny it does elevate a man. I mean, to start all alone, one man with just a hole in the ground and a church to be built, and no one to tell you how. But that's just it. How? If I had an ounce of sense of me, I'd be on the road heading out of here right now. Well,
Schmidt, we thank you for the food. You shouldn't do it. Your money is hard to come by.
now we've got to eat better than we've been eating. Work those girls pretty hard.
Your foundation. You have it cleaned out soon?
Day or so. Slow work by hand.
Schmidt, we can do it.
Do what?
The chapel. We can build it.
It would take a powerful lot of work. And a lot of those adobe bricks.
How much?
About the work? I don't know. Except it's more than I can handle all by myself. About the bricks? Nearly 4,000 as I figure it.
Tomorrow we go to Norfolk.
Oh, what'll that get us?
It is a big town. There's a man there who will help us. He is a friend and very rich.
He better be generous, too. Very generous.
He will be, Schmidt. You will see. Soon it is time for supper. Afterwards, you bring the music, yeah? We have heard you sing. You sing for us?
If you like.
Good. Then it's time I ring the bell.
We go to Norfolk. Like I couldn't say no if I wanted to. And nothing said about the gas neither. That's just like the lilies of the field to her. It just gets provided. Well, if I've got to sing for my supper, I might as well do it right. Better go tune up the old guitar.
Now we listen. Schmidt will sing for us.
Now don't expect too much. I just sing because I like to. I don't claim to be no professional. Most of the songs I know I learned when I was growing up or maybe in the army. And all I know about the guitar is what I taught myself. All right then. Here's one we sang when I was little. It goes a little something like this. I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my Susanna, for to see. It rained all day the night I left, the weather was so dry. The sun so hot, I froze myself, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me. For I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my Susanna, for to see. It rained all day the night I left, the weather was so dry. The sun so hot, I froze myself, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me. For I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Thank you, ladies. And now here's another one you might like. Goes a little something like this. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, I'm bound away across the wide Missouri.
Danke, Schmidt. Now we sing.
Well, let's hear how it goes.
Ave Maria Stella, De Materama, atque semper Virgo, Feli Celi porta. Ave Maria Stella, De Materama, atque semper Virgo, Feli Celi porta.
You wait here, Schmidt. I go in alone.
Who is this man anyway? I mean, how come he's coming all the way to Northport just to talk to?
Oh, there is sign. A Livingston Construction Company. This he owns, and all machines here too. Very expensive. He is richest man in town.
Place looks prosperous, all right. He's probably a politician. Of that sort talks a lot and does next to nothing. We ain't gonna get more than we pay for.
You are wrong, Schmidt. He will help us. In a few minutes, you will see.
I'll see, all right. And so will she. There ain't nobody paying to give anything away in this world. Most of all, politicians. Well, let's see. Just supposing the heavens open up and an angel of the Lord speaks out to old mother. She gets those bricks she's after. That still ain't gonna do it. Lumber. I guess we got enough to just about finish the job. Nails. We'll be running out of nails before we finish putting up studs. And cement. There ain't a bag of cement on the place. We'll be needing plenty of that before we're through. If we ever get started, which is doubtful. Now this is what I should be doing more of. I've earned it. I've got wheels to travel on, a bed to sleep in, and enough money to keep eating. I don't ask nobody for nothing. And if I want to just sit out in the sun and relax, then that's exactly what I should be doing. Instead of being a chauffeur, a laborer, a handyman, an English teacher, and a general contractor, all for nothing. My old sergeant knew what I was up to. He'd laugh himself silly, and I wouldn't blame him neither. Old Mother's still in there. Maybe that's a good sign. These politician types are pretty good at getting rid of people they don't want to talk to, and fast. You, Schmidt? Well, that's a German idea. My folks figured it was Smith. Named me Homer.
You the man who's going to build that church for those nuns?
Yes, I'm the man. What about it?
I expected a different type. Hell, you'll never do it.
That's so.
I'm Orville Livingston. I don't know how you got messed up in all this, but I told those nuns when they first came here that they'd better go back again. I was Gus Ritter's friend and executor of his estate. I turned his land over to this religious order, which was what he wanted. I sold land for those nuns when they first came here, and I had a man plow the fields that they insisted on keeping. Now, they want bricks. I'm sorry, I've got to stop somewhere. I'm a Methodist.
Well, I'm a Baptist myself.
You are? Then why are you working for them, if you are?
Well, I haven't quite figured that out yet.
You'll figure it out. Then you'll quit. Those nuns will quit too. Women can't work that land, and if their old church was interested in them, wouldn't leave them out here. They'll quit. Everything that they start will fall to ruin.
Old Mother has a strong idea in her mind. She's going to do what she feels she must.
Certainly. Someone else applies the bricks. Well, I won't. I wanted to see you before I told her. She's still in my office, and I've got a busy day ahead of me.
Well, what you decide is up to you. I can't talk against you on that. But I've still got my mind to do that job for them.
Suit yourself?
There's one thing, though. I'm going to need 2 days' work a week to keep it going. I can handle a bulldozer, almost any machinery you got, learn how in the Army.
All right. I can use you Thursday and Friday if you can only work 2 days. I'll pay the going rate on whatever job you're assigned. 7 o'clock, Thursday morning. We'll try you out.
And another thing, I'll need 2 sacks of cement. For them, I'll pay cash.
$3. I'll have a man wheeling out to you.
Homer Smith, what in the name of all that's holy are you up to? You ask for a job you don't want, under a man you right off don't like, and if that ain't enough, then you tell him you're going to build him a chapel, even though you told yourself 100 times it can't be done. It just doesn't make any sense. Not any of it. What did that man say? I expected a different type. Did he now? There was something else, too. He wanted to see me before he said no to old Mother. Maybe that's what's bothering you, Homer. Like it was you that was letting people down. Well, that ain't Homer Smith's way. And that's for sure.
Schmidt, we go back.
Well, no, we don't. I've got things to do.
We have no time.
Well, then we'll take time. There are things that need to be picked up.
Schmidt, you were right. We have no bricks.
We'll get some.
Yeah, Schmidt. We get some. We will find the way.
Well, let's go. We passed a likely-looking hardware store on the way in here, and we might as well get the tools we need there.
After the visit to North Fork, it was as though the obsession to build a chapel had been transferred from Mother Maria Martha to Homer. He had taken over her dream. It had become his challenge, his driving force. Still, there were no bricks. When he finished clearing the foundation, he made a mortar box and mixed cement, which he used to smooth the top of the foundation. The work was hard, but he savored the joy of being his own man, with a job that was his to plan and to execute. On Thursdays and Fridays, he went to work on one of the Livingston Road games, and when he drew his pay on Friday, there were needs to spend it on. More tools, more supplies, and food. Stacks of groceries to supplement the meager offerings of the nuns' tables. Homer soon found that he was taking more out of his fund than he was putting in, and Mother Maria Martha remained as interfering and possessive as ever, no matter what his sacrifice. But he felt the warm feelings of the other nuns, and he enjoyed the English lesson in the evening and the music on Sunday. Somehow all parts of his life seemed to fall into line. The work, the music, the little visiting, the little pondering. Regular things to do at regular hours, and no time to think about doing anything else. When he finished the floor, he began to finish up the floor. He set the bottom boards down with rough boards and his best planks for the surface. On Sundays, after the Mass, he came to our church in Pietras to study the secrets of its simple construction. Yet, without bricks, he soon came to a point where he could go no further. All he had done, all he had learned, all he had hoped for came to no avail without bricks. Without idleness, his nagging doubts returned, and he resolved once again to leave. After all, how much could one man do? And why should the events of his own life be changed by these strangers, by this nagging old woman who accepted so much while giving so little? His discouragement gave way to annoyance, and without a word to anyone, he made his plans for going. But others knew of the work he did, and shared in the dreams that not even he could hold on to. The people of the valley had little enough for themselves, but each gave what he could. And so, one day,
over here.
Ah, senor, good to see you. You remember from Piedra?
Sure I do. Man with blue ham and eggs. Brings you out here.
The padre says to the people that you need brick, so he brings.
Well, so you did.
They're of no use, but we have brought them.
Thanks, amigo. I was about ready to call it quits.
They are only of adobe, many will break, but it is a way to start.
Well, sure it is. I'll show you where to park your truck, and I'll help you unload.
See,
Schmidt?
I was wondering how long it would take her to find out something was going on.
This brick, Schmidt.
Well, that's what they are. People in the valley sent them.
Thank you. Now we start to build the walls, yeah, Schmidt?
Well, these bricks aren't as good as what I was hoping for. Many will break easy, and they won't lay as neat.
it's all right, senor. I'll show you how.
Oh, no need for that. I mean, well, thanks anyway. But I can do it on my own. I got it covered.
Good. Now I call the others. We help you unload the bricks.
Oh, not me. Me and Jose's got it covered, right, amigo?
You see, Schmidt, it is as we say, that there will be bricks. You now to begin with, and more later when we need them. You will see. The chapel, it will be built now.
Maybe yes, maybe no. What's on that truck can't be more than 400 or 500 bricks. I wouldn't start counting my chickens yet if I was you.
Yeah, Schmidt. I don't count.
the gift of the bricks gave new impetus to Homer, He was not a skilled bricklayer, and the adobe brick was crude and uneven in size, but he set his guidelines and began to work, and soon the thing he was working on began to take shape. As time went by, he found that he was leading 3 lives: the life of work in North Fork, the communal life of eating and singing with the nuns, a highly personal life of building a church. But Mother Maria Marta remained a thorn in his side, and he had spells of dark brooding where he wondered once again why he was working harder than he had ever worked in his life, and for no pay. He wondered why, with so much world up to see, he stayed here on the sun-baked prairie, frying in the relentless heat. A cloud hung over his thoughts, a vague unhappiness went over his soul, and then, one day, he ran out of bricks, and life suddenly, and finally, caught up with him.
You lonely too, old fella? Well, there's your answer. Somebody else who speaks your language. Maybe that's what I need. Instead of old mother, bother my life with ideas and suggestions and just plain interference. Hard as a hammer, that old lady. I've been foolish to think there might be any softness in her. And that's where I was heading when this all came up. Off over those mountains. New towns to see, new people to meet, new work to do, and for money, too. It's time to go, friend. And that's all there is to it. You've done what you could for these ladies, but some jobs are just more than one man can handle. And it's nothing but good sense to admit it. What's more, you got no call to take over someone else's dreams and let them run you ragged. You got plenty of dreams of your own, not all that much time to chase them down. Look at it straight and clear. You've been packed and you've been ready to go for days now, and you know why. There's nothing more here that you've got to do. There's plenty more that you can't do, and lots more you shouldn't even try to do. No, sir. It's time to quit sitting around waiting for miracles that ain't gonna happen. Time to start looking after Homer Smith for a change. Time to go and keep on going. Come on, boy. A couple of days from now, they won't even remember you was here.
Schmidt?
Why the traveler will turn and go back to the place where his hopes he must burn. Our lifetime is short and our chances are few to help other people their dreams to make true, and to know when you're done and have gone on your way that you're part of a legend that lives to this day. Sing do-rally, do-rally, do.
After Homer left, the lives of the nuns went on as before. Their disappointment was deep, but they attended to their chores and said nothing. But the unfinished walls of the chapel, rising only as high as a man's shoulders, were an ever-present reminder of a hope unrealized, a goal beyond their reach. As for Homer, he left the valley and went beyond the mountains to the city. There he found what he had so sorely missed: lights, laughter, the companionship of others who felt and spoke as he did. He liked the sounds, the traffic, the hard-filled pavement under his feet. He was happy, and soon the life he left behind became only a hazy dream, as unreal as the events in the life of another man. He found a room, and when his money ran low, went to work for a wrecking company. It was hard, dangerous work, but the money was good, and the comforts of civilization awaited him when each day was over. Then one day, a few weeks later, the past suddenly reached out and claimed him again. He was sorting through the salvage from a group of demolished row houses and was stacking some old bathtubs there when he suddenly realized that the nuns had no such convenience in their lives, but should have. It was then that he realized that he must return, and that his going had only been a brief respite, a temporary escape from a commitment which he must honor. He bought a bathtub from the foreman of the wrecking crew, lashed it on top of his station wagon, and returned to the valley. It was late afternoon when he returned to the ranch and pulled into his accustomed spot.
Hi. It's me again. Bad pennies have a way of turning up, you know.
You are back, Schmidt.
It would appear that way. Thought I'd come by and see what you girls been up to.
It is as it was. Each day brings much to do.
Yeah. I see you got the girls out there working already. Crops ought to be coming in soon, though.
Ja, Schmidt. God is good. There will be a harvest this year.
Nothing much done to your chapel, though. Looks pretty much just about where I left off. Still no bricks, I guess.
Nein. No bricks.
Say, I've got a surprise for you. It's out there in the yard. Come on over and take a look. See? Over there.
Das ist gut, Schmidt. Das ist gut.
Well, I thought that bathtub would make life a little easier for you. Of course, you'll still have to tote the water for it, but it ought to be taking a bath out of a bucket.
Ja, Schmidt.
Well, if I set it up back of that pantry of yours, all I'll have to do is run a pipe out through the kitchen, and then you'll just have to pull a plug and let the water run down to a rain gutter. Ought to work just fine.
Oh, it will be fine, Schmidt. We help you put it in their pantry.
Oh, no need for that. You just show me where you want it. I can do the rest myself. Maybe I can get it fixed up so the girls can use it tonight.
Oh, nein, Schmidt. Soon brothers will be in to wash for supper. There is no time.
Well, tomorrow then.
Tomorrow Sunday is we go to Mass.
Well, that's right. I was forgetting about it being Sunday and all. Matter of fact, I got the car swept out all nice and clean for you. I'll ride you in style.
There is no need, Schmidt. We walk.
Nothing doing. I was planning on taking you in. And besides, I want to get you some of those good ham and eggs at Jose's place.
Good, Schmidt. Der Mass in Piedras is 9 by the clock.
I know. It ain't like I've never taken you in before.
Does to me, it could not. Everybody says
laugh at the nuns because the nuns say that you will return.
I don't want nobody laughing at those nuns.
See, this they know. Not nobody will laugh.
That's right. Nobody's gonna laugh.
The Padre says to the people that you will return.
Well, how'd he know?
That Mother Superior, she told him.
How'd she know?
She knew.
Well, then she knew a lot more than I did.
See,
She sure enough knew something else, too. You might as well pass it along to anyone else who's got the wrong idea. I came back 'cause I wanted to, and not 'cause I had to. There ain't nobody got a rope on me, least of all old Mother. I work when I want, and I quit when I don't. I'll decide about that when I choose.
see, the Padre, that Father Gomez, he'll be very happy that you'll come back to those nuns.
Why should he be happy?
He will say it proves a religious thing.
Or what religious thing?
Faith. It is a word for what is unreasonable. If a man believes in an unreasonable thing, that is faith. It is not reasonable that you should come back to this place and work for nothing. Nobody believed it. You'll come back.
You can have a point there. Me coming back to work for these nuns, it ain't a reasonable idea. But here I am, working away at it, even without a brick. Could be I have faith too.
Me, I have no faith. I do not believe in the church. I do not go to Mass.
Well, I don't know what that does for you. All those other Spanish are in there, sitting on those pews, praying, or doing whatever they does at Mass. You're in here, working, fixing my breakfast.
It is reasonable. You pay me, I make money.
I ain't never seen no one else in here during the Mass. Unless you get a hungry Baptist in your place, you don't make money.
So I sit there and do nothing. It is a reasonable thing. No police tells me what to do.
I guess not. But you brought those bricks a while back. You listened to the Padre then.
I only carry the bricks. It is the least I can do.
Mass is finished. Figure out what I owe you, will you, Migo?
See, I figure.
Ah, Senor Smith, it is nice to see you again. We welcome you back to Piedras.
Thanks, Padre.
Your return has already caused much talk. There are many who said that you would not come back.
So I understand.
I believe that you will have a surprise or two this week, or has Mother Superior already told you?
Told me what, Padre?
Ah, then you don't know. This is the brick, Senor Smith. Almost overnight it is decided. Even the poorest man in the valley will see to it that you have the brick. All that you need to finish the chapel. Everyone has agreed.
Well, why should they do that?
It is because you have come back. At first, many doubted that the chapel would be built, and when he left, they said, "See, he does not believe himself that it can be done. He will not be back." But now you are back, and those who had doubted you are sorry they did so, and they feel that they must do what they can to atone for this.
I'm not sure I follow their line of reasoning, Padre. But I'll be glad to see the bricks, whatever the reason.
And you shall, Senor Smith. We are a poor valley, but the people are rich of spirit. And when a thing must be done, it is done.
Well, thanks for the good news, Father Gomez. Well, adios.
Adios, Senor Smith. And the bricks did come, in vehicles of every age and type, and with a speech that hardly varied from farmer to farmer. Its purpose was to say that they were glad to bring the bricks, and they had doubted Homer in their hearts and were sorry. At first, Homer was embarrassed by their almost reverent solicitude, but as the bricks began to pile up, he adjusted even more carefully to the situation. He found that he fell once again into the comforting routine of planning his work each day and sharing in the simple and regular life of the nuns. He even went back to North Fork and the Livingston Construction Company to see if he could pick up that strand of his life too.
they told me who was out here, I thought they must be kidding.
No, they weren't. It's me, all right.
I can see that. Where you been?
Vacation.
Ah. So why'd you come back?
Had to finish my church.
You still planning on finishing that?
That's right, I am. Right now I'm getting on my brick. Meantime, I'll need part-time work again. Could you still use an extra operator?
Homer Smith, they ought to read you out of the Baptist church. But I'm glad you're back. I'm short-handed right now.
Oh, good. Same time Thursday morning?
Same time, 7 o'clock sharp.
I'll be here.
Come earlier if you can. The sooner we get started, the sooner we'll finish. I declare, you'll be anything I've ever seen before. Just when I think I had you all figured out, you come running back. What is the world coming to?
When he drew his first pay on Friday, Homer went to the grocery store, as he had before, and loaded the cart with food for the nuns' tables. This time Mother Superior was politely appreciative of his generosity, but also firm in telling him that he need no longer spend his money this way. She showed him the fresh vegetables already in harvest, the food already canned for the winter, the new generation of chickens crowding the fowl run. Homer realized that he had been blind to all that the others had accomplished. He was pleased to see that they had done so much for themselves, and yet he felt a twinge of disappointment too. Somehow, in not needing the food they could provide, the nuns seemed to need him less as well. But he did not have time to brood on this, for a new and greater problem had arisen. The farmers who had brought the brick now wanted to set the brick as well. Homer soon found that he was fighting for the right to work as he chose and to build a chapel in the way that he wanted. When he went to North Fork on Thursdays and Fridays, he put out signs saying, "Keep off," and "Don't touch anything." And each night when he returned, he checked what damage well-meaning hands might have done to his creation while he was away. His reluctance to accept help did not sit well with Mother Superior.
You do not know well the adobe.
I'm learning.
You should have help.
Don't need it. I'm doing just fine on my own.
Schmidt, these people want only to help you.
I don't want their help.
Those who brought the bricks want to share in building the chapel. It is right that they should do so. All will be well if they help. And the chapel, it will be built sooner.
Sooner might not be better. I've got my own ideas about building this chapel, and I've got to do it my way. Besides, I don't recall anyone coming around wanting to help me clean out the foundation.
Schmidt, what is the use to talk with you? You are so stubborn.
Me stubborn? Old Mother's got her nerve to talk about stubborn. She might ask me how I feel about things, but no, sir. All she cares about is getting her chapel built. She doesn't care how or who does it. She forgets awful easy, especially about the fact that if I hadn't come back, there'd be no bricks to worry about. Well, no sense in getting me sore, but I've got my own ideas about building that chapel. I have got to do it my way.
Como? There's only one way to lay the brick.
I know that. I've studied that little church in Piedras like it was the Parthenon. I know exactly how many bricks it took to build it and where each one is.
See, but seeing how it was done is not doing it. There are secrets to learn. The breaking of the bricks so the end is straight, the way of setting in the windows, the spreading of adobe on the outside so it is smooth and firm. These are matters of aggravation. I know. I have done them.
I didn't claim to be no expert on the adobe. I just don't want all those people running round on my chapel. I could always use a little expert advice.
That is easy, senor. I have worked much with adobe. This is stuff of this country. I will show you what you do not know.
Well done, amigo. But that don't mean I'm letting all those farmers loose on my chapel.
They come anyway to watch and to listen to you sing. They like how you sing. I too like it.
Man works better singing.
See, singing is good. You like guitar?
Got one of my own.
Bueno. Come over to my house tonight for dinner.
drink a little, sing a little, play the guitar. My wife, she's best cook in Piedras.
Well, thanks. That would be real nice.
I teach you new songs to sing, songs in Spanish. You bring a guitar.
I'd be honored.
It is nothing, de nada. We'll be honored by your presence.
Adios, Marquita linda. Yo me voy porque tú ya no me quieres. Como yo te quiero a ti.
Sehr gut, Schmidt. Very nice. You must sing that for the others.
Jose taught it to me. Spanish don't come that easy for me, but the melody follows right along.
Jose is good friend, and he knows well how to build with the adobe.
I'll concede him that all right. And his wife has a way with themes, too. Makes them taste like food.
Schmidt, the bricks which came from Livingston today, you can use them.
Oh, those? I guess the old man lost a bet with himself. He bet I'd be long gone by now. He bet I would never do this work. So he's paying up. Sure, I can use them. They're better than the brick I've had so far. I can make the walls even higher now. That'll go real easy.
And you let the others help.
Now hold on. There's plenty else for them to do. They can help us lift up the roof beams since they brought them, or build an altar. I don't know about such things, but me and Jose have got the adobe covered.
It is right for all to help, Schmidt. The chapel, it is important for them too. They have sacrificed much to make it possible.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want all these people messing things up. And now that we're so near done.
How near, Schmidt? The chapel. Then it will be finished.
Well, if I don't go into work for Livingston this week, and there's no reason I should if we're all set in the grocery department, I guess I could wind things up in a week or so. I mean, there's some to do still, like putting up the roof beams and putting in the altar and the pews. But if the others will stay out from underfoot and do these things, that's the best thing they can do. After all that's done, all that's left is the adobe coating for the outside. Jose showed me a way to do that real fast.
A week from this Sunday. We can use the chapel then?
Yeah, that should be safe enough.
God is good, Schmidt. God is good. Yeah, this week I speak to Father Gomez. I ask him to say Mass in the chapel. The first Mass. You will come. You will sit in the front pew.
That would be nice.
Now it is late. We must be up early in the morning.
How's the bathtub working out?
Oh, it is good, Schmidt. For this too we are also grateful to you.
No need to be grateful. I'm glad you like it.
Ja, Schmidt. Good night.
Good night.
That week, Homer worked every day from dawn till dusk, sometimes with Jose, but usually alone, and always with a new sense of urgency, as though time was suddenly running out and each hour precious. He assigned tasks to those who would not go, but only he and Jose worked on the walls and set the roof into place. The work went swiftly now, and almost magically, the chapel, which had only been a dream for so long, grew into a reality. He let the others help spread adobe on the walls, and all helped to clear and level the ground around it, and clear the last of the building debris. When the others had gone, Homer stepped back and surveyed his creation. It was finished. He had done it. That night, Mother Superior added several plump young chickens to the menu, and dinner was a festive occasion. The nuns were excited and happy, for they now had a chapel of their own, and the Mass would be said in it on Sunday. Somehow, that night didn't seem like a night for English lessons, so after dinner, Homer played and sang for the nuns, some Spanish songs, some of his own tunes, and finally, the Latin music, which Sister Albertine and the others sang with him. When the others had retired for the night, Homer went outside and looked at his church. It seemed even larger and more majestic in the darkness, silhouetted against the clear night sky. He sat down in one of the pews, his heart and mind filled with a mixture of joy and sadness.
Build me a chapel church, he said, and I've done it. You can admit it now, Homer. You didn't know what he was up to half the time. No plans to go by, poor tools, not enough brick. But here it is, not half bad neither. Maybe it proves that one man can do impossible things when he decides he has to. Of course, the others did help out a bit, even old Livingston. And you know he didn't send those bricks just because you came back. He sent those bricks to old Mother, ashamed of how he'd said no to her. The others felt the same way. Maybe you did too.
He told himself that he should say goodbye to Mother Maria Marta and the others, but he was not a man to put his feelings into words. He had done what he had said he would do. The nuns didn't need him any longer, and there was a world beyond the mountains beckoning to him. Mother Maria Marta could see into the hearts of men, and she had an understanding mind. When he left, nobody would have to say anything to her. She would just know. But there was one thing he wanted to say to God about his church. He knelt and lifted up his heart, but no words came. It was not something he could talk about, not even to God. He knew that he was never coming back, but he also knew that a man couldn't roam forever, and that there was a settling down time which he would come to. 24 hours after his disappearance, the legend of Homer Smith came into being. Strangers came to see the church that he had built. Newspapers ran stories about it, and soon its fame reached far beyond the limits of our valley. The local people were only too glad to tell of what they knew of Homer, for they are a people who enjoy stories of saints who walk the earth, and of angels who take men unaware.
See, I knew him well. I was his best friend. He was not like other men. There was nothing he could not do. Often, a white light shone around him. He could make the bricks fly into place without touching them. Once he said to me, "Go send me to this place to build a church and to make these nuns famous. Once I have done this thing, you will see me no more."
I've been a builder all my life, and I can say that I have never seen anything like it. The way this church is built, it'll outlast anything in this here valley. Of course, when I saw what he was doing, I did all I could to help. Gave him work to keep him going, donated bricks and such. I saw he was a good man who deserved a hand. Now, I'm a Methodist myself, and I can't go along with everything these Catholics say. But one thing's for sure, that a man cannot build a church like this unless he's being helped somehow. There are things here that aren't easily explained. Now, I'm not looking for no credit or nothing, but just knowing that I had a hand in building this is satisfaction enough for me. A man has got to do his Christian duty.
While others were eager to tell of Homer Smith, Mother Maria Marta and her nuns were reluctant to tell of their relationship with him, but this very reticence drew them into the legend and created curiosity. People wrote to them and sent them money, soliciting prayers. Publicity created more publicity. Tourists came to see the church after hearing that an unusual experience awaited them, and the notion of a modern shrine took root. Now, not many people can explain these things, but Mother Maria Marta's plans for a school became publicized with the rest. People made substantial donations of money, and soon her plans for a church began to grow into a reality. The buildings arced around the chapel. Over the years, as the church school grew in public esteem, and more nuns came, and the school accepted more boys, it was always the chapel which remained the center of the school. Painters came to paint it, photographers to photograph it, and when Mother Maria Marta led people through the school, it was always the chapel, Homer's chapel, which he brought them to last.
And this is the chapel of St. Joseph the Carpenter. That painting of the saint is the work of Sister Albertine. Her model was a man named Schmidt, who came to us under the direction of God. He built this chapel with his own 2 hands and under great difficulties. It is all from him. He was not of our faith, nor of our beliefs, but he was a man of greatness and of utter devotion. Our cause was his cause too, and his spirit fills this place and our hearts, even to this day.